Hi everyone, Code Queen Nayeli. Have you been waiting for this video? I know. This is actually one of the first 5 videos ever requested, and it's been a few months since I started, but it's finally here, and you're gonna learn how to do, well, it depends how you call it. Some people call it a sticky menu, some people call it a scrolling menu bar, some people call it a floating menu. Whatever you call it, you're gonna do it. You're gonna learn how to do it. It should take you about 15 minutes, maybe less. Depends if you're familiar with Wix Code or not. If this is your first time using Wix Code, you can start with this video. It's a beginner level, but I totally recommend you watch the basic videos first because there's a lot of things I'm not going to go over that's already been covered in the basics. So watch those videos. It'll take you about 2 hours in total to watch. It's about 4 or 5 videos that you can watch, and once you get comfortable with it, come back to this one and try to do the sticky code menu thing for your website. All right, enough of that. Let's get started. All right, so let's move my face out of the way. Yeah? Okay. Look at that. Fancy, right? Totally codable. You will find out a little surprise, a little something coming soon, and it's totally codable, and it's totally happening. But this is the site that I'm going to show you to kind of explain a little bit how to get the animation to work the way that you're hoping it'll work. And then after I show you what it looks like on this site, we're going to go over to a blank site, and I'm going to show you how to create it from scratch. So that way you're not confused, and you can come back to this video, watch it as many times as you need to get it perfect. So let's go to this one and hit preview. Totally codable. Explore the possibilities. Coming soon. So later on, hopefully in a few months. Right now it's December 2017. Hopefully by January or maybe even February, you will see totallycodable.com. And it's going to have a lot of really great things, so check it out. Do. Now I'm going to scroll up and down, and as I do, you're going to see my menu shrink. Look at that. Ooh, nice and fancy, nice and smooth. This is all the site has. There's literally nothing else to show you except just that. So let's dive in and find out how you can do this in about 15 minutes or less. Let's go back to the editor. Up here, what you will need, the ingredients, is 2 strips. This is actually made of 2 strips. If I right click here, you will see that the overlapping items, it's 2 strips and the header. So you will be dragging 2 strips inside of the header. Of course, they're 2 different sizes. You will also need an anchor. Right here's the anchor. You'll need 1 anchor somewhere inside of your header. The header has to be frozen in order for this to work. If the header is not frozen, well, then there's no point of having this type of animation because the header's going to go right up the page, you know, when the person's scrolling down. So if you're not using a frozen header, this video is not for you. For my website, I did need a logo. So what I did not add the logo into each corresponding strip. I pinned it to the screen instead. If you don't know how to pin an item, you right click. Most images, icons, and things like that can be pinned. Once you right click, go towards the bottom and then it'll say pin. So then you pin it to the screen, you select the position where you want it, and it'll stay there. So because I pinned these items and they're not inside of each strip, and when I do hide the appropriate strips, they won't hide with it because they're not attached to the strip, I will have to eventually hide and show my 2 logos. Why do I have 2? I have 2 strips, 2 sizes. So anything that I want on the large menu header has to be done in small. So if I have a large logo on one, I have to create a small one because when it shrinks, it'll create the effect that it's shrinking by itself. And once you have those elements, you will also need to put a little bit of code on your site. It's not that difficult, it's super duper easy. On the bottom of the page, you can open, see here at the very bottom, you can open your code. Now notice that I have nothing on my page. There is no page code because this function is not happening inside of a specific page. It's actually happening on the header, which is the entire site. So you're actually going to be putting the code on the Site Code tab. So this is where we will have that. Don't worry if you can't read this or see this. We're going to go over to another editor and I'm going to show you everything step by step. Created one from scratch. I did add the code to it so that way I wouldn't have to type it. Being efficient, not being lazy. So like I mentioned before, the code level for this video, it's beginner. It's super easy, a few clicks, a few buttons, a few settings, and a tiny bit of a code. So there's the code right there. I will give you the link to this website later so you can copy and paste it and you can follow along. The elements, I just went over them. It was one large strip, one small strip, a large logo, a small logo, and one anchor. And there's a little note. If you want more things on your menu, we'll just make sure that you have a small version and a large version so that way when it creates the shrinking effect, you place them in the corresponding code area. How to do this? Add 2 strips to your page. I already have 2 strips. Where did I get them from? The menu. Click Add, find a strip, drag it and drop it onto your screen. I created 2 strips and I'm going to give you the exact sizes of them. It's important that I give you the exact sizes because this creates the smooth effect on my site. It took me a long time to figure it out. If the anchor is in the wrong place, it'll create a kind of a choppy effect and you don't want that. You want it to be smooth. So keeping this in view, this strip is 69. We'll say tall. I won't get too techie on you. And then this strip, the larger one, is 111. Why did I pick 111 for the larger strip? Well, if I click inside of my header, that's the size of my header, 111. So if you want to do them different sizes, if these are not the exact sizes that you're looking for, just do the ratio, calculate it, do a little bit of algebra, figure it out, you know, the normal stuff. Or just use these exact sizes that I've already figured out for you so you can test it out and try it on your own page. Now here's a trick. How to add it onto the header. Well, don't add the big one first. If you add the big one and drop it in there and then you slide in the small one, they're going to stick together. You don't want that. So first you're going to add the small one and then you're going to add the big one. For the purpose of this video, I'm actually going to relabel. This one is called column strip 1 and this one is column strip 2. I'm going to rename them. I'm going to relabel them so that way they can match my code just so you know what they are on the screen. So how do I do that? Click on one of them, go to Tools. I know that your developer tools are already selected and on and whatever. But now you need to make sure that the Properties panel is also checked off so that way it appears over here. And since I've selected column strip 1 over here in the Properties panel, I'm actually going to change the name. I'm going to label it strip small. Click enter and it saves it. And then the other one, can you guess what it's going to be? Strip big. Why didn't I label it small strip? Well, because it looked, I don't know, because I didn't think of it. That's why. So strip small, oh look, this one's called big strip. So this one, big strip. Let me change it again. Okay, so I've already labeled that. Now, my logo will be this little nice shape that I dragged and dropped onto the screen. I need 2, so one's going to be big. Let me just make sure it fits. I'm not going to attach it. Okay, it's too big. Let me make it a little bit smaller. And then I can either click this, duplicate, and there's another one, or I could have just copied and pasted it. with my keys on the keyboard. So I'm going to make this smaller and making sure that it'll look, that's an okay size. So now I have my two logos, and I'm going to be pinning those to the screen. Before I do, I want to change the name so that way they match my code. So this one is called Logo Small and Big Logo. So turn on the Properties panel because I accidentally closed it. And this one is going to be Logo Small. And this one, what did I name it? Big Logo. I don't know why. I just did it that way. Alright, so both of them are labeled. Now that I have it labeled, I'm going to right click and pin to screen. I'm going to select the top left corner. Doesn't really matter where it goes. I'll just do 0 and 0 so that way it's just in the corner. So that one's already pinned. And then this one I'm going to right click, pin to screen, also in that corner. And I guess that right there is okay. A little bit taller. Okay, I did 10 and 10 on this one. That way when it shrinks, it scrunches to the corner, I guess you could say. Now I'm going to drag and drop the small strip all the way to the top inside of the header, because I don't want it to show when my page loads. I want it to appear after I do the scrolling function. I'm actually going to use the Properties panel, and then I'm going to select Hidden on Load, so that way it's hidden on load. And how we're going to make it show, well, it'll be written in the code, so then it'll show up on the page. So that one's already done and it's in place. Now let's get the big strip. Where did my little one go? Huh. Well, it's there. It's just supposed to be lighter, not completely disappeared. But let's see what happens with this one. Let's add this one to the header. And there it is. Now all I'm missing is my anchor. So I'm going to go to the menu. We'll see what happens to that little strip. I'm very curious because that didn't happen the first time with my other site. I'm going to be adding an anchor. And notice how when I dragged it, it added it to the page. Now I'm dragging it again so it'll add it to the header. So, and I think it stayed already. We'll see in a bit. Because if it's added to the page accidentally, then there is no page code, so it won't work. It has to be added to the header so that way it'll work with the site code. Let me go to my other site and let me check the exact position of where this is. So I'm going to click on the anchor, and it's on 50, and that's exactly where I want it. Every single number counts. So let me click on the anchor. It's on 34, so let me put 50. And on my code, I labeled it anchor header. How do I know? Because it says export function and then anchor header underscore on view. So on here, I'm going to change it the same. Anchor header. That's all I'm going to put, anchor header, because now I have to tell the anchor that when something happens on these two, enter and leave, when it leaves view and then when it enters back on the page, there's a code down below that I need it to read so it'll do the thing that I want it to do. So I'm going to click add, and I'm going to put the word on, and it's adding it to the page code. So now I'm really wondering if the anchor is on the page or on the header. So just to make sure, first I'm going to delete all that, I don't need it. I know that it has to be on 50, and I know I manually put it 50, but now I'm going to drag it a little bit and put it on 50. Hopefully it's on the header. Well, we're going to see. So now that I have all that, let me go to the site. There's no code there. Let me go here. You won't have to edit text to copy and paste. I just copied it. Gonna add it on line number 8. I'm pasting it there. Closing this out. Now there's just one more thing to do before we test it, and that is in the header. Remember that the only way that it'll work if it's a frozen header. So maybe I should have froze it at the beginning, but it's okay. We can still do it now. All you do is hover over the header, right click, see the overlapping items, click on the header. After the header is selected, make sure that it is frozen. Frozen needs to be on so that way it doesn't go anywhere. And now that we have the elements in place, the code is inside of your site code tab, and your header is frozen and it's not going anywhere, let's check it out. Let's click preview, and let me minimize this. And scrolling. Ah! It works! Well, I already knew that it worked, but you know. I still gotta be excited with you guys. That's always fun. So, look at that. Go up and go down. Up, and then it goes away. So, I told you it would be easy, and I told you you'd learn it in less than 15 minutes. I probably did too much talking, but you know, then it wouldn't be a Nayeli video, so. That's how you do the scrolling, shrinking, floating menu, whatever you want to call it. That's how you do that effect. Never before has that been possible on any Wix site, and now it is. All thanks to Wix Code. So thank you, code developers and code everybody and Wix everybody. Yoav, Omer for all your support, Yuval, the code king, first in his name. Inside joke, you guys won't get it. Everybody, thanks to you, we can now do this on Wix, and that is just amazing because who knew that a little bit of code could do really nice code designs. So now go, have fun with it, and wait, no, before you go, let me just show you something. Okay. So there are these amazing Wix experts in this Wix experts group, and they've actually already been doing this. We've actually been doing the floating header menu thing for a long time, and let's see if I can get any of their... Okay, so here's one example, and if I scroll, let me bring it into view. If I scroll down, nope, now I'm just messing it up. This was supposed to be a wow effect, and now it's not. Okay, here we go. So I scroll up and down, and you see the little tiny bit up there. So this is one design that a designer used, Miss Doss, I believe. This is yours. Oh gosh, I hope I said her name right. And here's another one. Same designer. Look at the menu. Look at that. Ooh, very nice. See, this one changes color. So she added a transparent one, and then now there is a white strip at the top, so that's pretty neat. And here's another one. See, this one doesn't have a pinned logo because it's not in a corner, but it's actually in the middle. So this one is probably a little bit easier to code because they didn't add too many other extra elements. So look at that, it fades away. Now it's white. Now it's bigger. See, look at that. So there's many designs, different ideas that you can come up with to basically use this exact technique and be creative. It doesn't have to be exactly the way that I showed you. I'm just showing you this way so you can practice it, get something functioning on your website so you can show it off, and then just get creative with it. I will actually put a link down below to all of their wonderful Wix Arena profiles, so in case you do need to contact any of those designers, you know how to reach them. And also, I need to send a special shout out to Matt Lowe Designs, who actually designed the Totally Codeable logo, which is completely amazing. I absolutely love it. He did it in a matter of a couple of hours, and yes, it is the perfect logo. So thank you, Matt, for my new logo. And as always, if you guys have any questions, don't forget to leave a comment down below. I am busy sometimes, but I do try to get to them as fast as possible. I do accept any questions, and I do complimentary 15-minute consultations, or you can also hire me to give you private tutorings or answer any questions that you might have. Just check out my website. The links will be down below as well. And we're almost to 500 subscribers, and you know what that means, right? If you don't, check out my other video and it'll explain it. But wait till we hit the 500 because something exciting is going to happen. Anyway, I'll see you guys later. Bye.